Hello students, welcome back to the session on copyright protection. So in the previous lecture we have discussed about what is a copyright, what are the various works which can be protected under the copyright protection. We have also discussed the doctrine of fair use, where even if the copyright work is being used without the permission of the copyright holder, still it is not considered to be an infringement. We have also discussed the various uh, the subject matter of copyright. So today we are going to discuss what are the remedies which are available if the copyright is being infringed. So friends, there are basically two types of copyright infringement remedies. The one is the civil remedies and the second one is known as the criminal remedies. So let us see what are the various types of remedies. So first we will talk about the civil remedies in case of copyright infringement. So as per the Copyright Act 1957, Section 5 deals with the various types of remedies. The first one is the interlocutory injunction. Now this is a very important remedy which is granted in case of copyright infringement. So in most of the cases this kind of remedy is being given to the victim. So but there are certain requirements which has to be fulfilled in this particular injunction. The first is there has to be prima facie case. Secondly, there needs to be a balance of convenience, and third one is there needs to be an irreparable injury. So if these three elements are satisfied, these three conditions are fulfilled, then the court may grant interlocutory injunction. Now second type of injunction is known as pecuniary remedies or pecuniary damages. Most of the time when the court is able to grant some injunction, some order where the monetary loss can be compensated through some monetary measures, so that will be considered as the pecuniary remedies. So there are three pecuniary remedies under section 55 to 58 in the copyright law. So the first is it may take place in three forms. The first form is the account of profits. Means whatever profits has been made by unauthorized use of the copyrighted work, that can be asked. Second one is the compensatory damages. So whatever loss has been incurred to the copyright holder, that particular loss may be asked by the court to make good to the copyright holder by the infringer. And the third one is the conversion damages, which are assessed according to the value of the article. So whatever the value of the article about which the copyright being infringed, so that value may be awarded to the copyright holder, and the infringer may be asked to make good such kind of loss in either of three ways, depending upon the case. Friends, the third one is the non-pharmacal order. So this particular order is being named after Norwich Pharmaceutical Company versus Customs and Excise Commissioner. So this was a famous case, and in this particular case the order was given that is known by the name of Norwich Pharmaceutical Order. So the Norwich Pharmaceutical Order is usually passed when information needs to be discovered from the third party. The third party may not be directly involved or may not at all be involved in that particular infringement, in that particular wrongdoing, but there may be the need of the third party. Like this type of court order compels the third party who is not necessarily involved in the wrongdoing but has been somehow involved or mixed up in it. So to disclose certain information or documents to the claimant, the purpose is usually to identify individuals or entities involved in wrongdoing so that legal action can be taken against them. So the real person who is the wrongdoer can be identified with the help of the third party. So that is why this kind of order is also being passed. Next, Anton Pillar order. So this is also a very famous order, and this particular order is being named after Anton Pillar AG versus manufacturing process. So this was the case, and this Anton Pillar order is granted when the following when these elements are being fulfilled. So the first one is an injunction restraining the defendant from destroying or infringing the goods. So this particular injunction is granted when the defendant, when there is a possibility that the defendant will destroy the goods, destroy the infringed goods, erase the proof. Secondly, in order to permitting the plaintiff lawyer to search the defendant's premises and take goods in their safe custody. This order will also allow the plaintiff's lawyer, the lawyer of the victim, to carry out search in the premises of the defendant's premises and take the goods in custody. And the third thing is the order that the defendant be directed to disclose the names and address of the supplier and customers. The defendant will also be asked to disclose all the names and addresses of the suppliers and the consumers to whom he has appropriated or to whom he has sold the goods related to the copyrighted work. So this is also very important order, which many of the times this particular order is being granted as a civil remedy. And the fifth one is Mareva injunction. So Mareva injunction is also a very important order, and this particular order is being executed mostly when the defendant is trying to delay or obstruct the execution of the decree which is passed against him. If the defendant is trying to delay the case and prevent the order, so in such situation the court may grant Mareva injunction. So this type of injunction is often used in cases where there is a risk that the party against whom the injunction is sought may try to remove assets from the jurisdiction or dispatch them to avoid satisfying a judgment or other obligation. So this is the first requirement for this particular injunction. Secondly, Mareva injunction is typically sought in cases involving mostly cases of fraud or asset tracing or dispute where there is a concern that the defendant may attempt or hide or move the assets, and the court has the power to direct him to place whole or any part of the property under the court's disposal as may be sufficient to satisfy the decree. So these are the various conditions in which the Mareva injunction may be granted to the copyright holder if the copyrighted work is being infringed. So these are the various civil remedies which are available to the victim. Now we will see what are the various criminal remedies. So friends, these are the criminal remedies. So the first criminal remedy is there may be an imprisonment to 3 years and between 6 months to a period of 3 years maximum. Secondly, there will be a fine up to from 50,000 to which may extend up to 2 lakhs depending upon case to case. And the third is the search and seizure of the infringing goods. The court may search and seize all the infringed goods and take into the custody. And the last one is delivery of infringing goods to the copyright owner. It can also, these are criminal come, you can say, administrative remedies, and these are the various remedies which are available to the copyright holder if the rights of the copyright holder is being infringed by the wrongdoer. So these are the various remedies which we have discussed. Now moving to the various copyright authorities, various copyright offices. So let us start with the copyright authorities. So as per the Indian law, copyright law, there are three types of copyright officers. One is the copyright office, another authority is known as the copyright board, and the third one is copyright society. So all these three bodies, three offices, three institutions, you can say, take care of the law and administration and granting of the copyright and management of the copyright holders' work. We will see one by one what are the functions which are performed by various authorities and what is the composition of these authorities. So the first one is the copyright office. So this is the office which is established by the government, and this particular office works on behalf of the government, and they are responsible for the administration of copyright law and the related matters within the particular jurisdiction. So the functions of any copyright office in India is first one is the copyright registration. So as soon as any person applies for the copyright work, for the protection of copyrighted work, then it is the primary function of the copyright office to register the work if it satisfied all the criteria for copyright. Second is copyright recordation. Now the copyright office is also responsible for maintaining the records of the copyrighted work and related transactions like transfer of ownership, then licenses, assignments. So all these records are being maintained by the copyright office. Next is the public record and information. The copyright office is also having a reservoir of repository of public records related to the copyright information and different types of works, and the owner of that particular work can do. Then any kind of information is being imparted by the copyright office to the public. The next is the copyright policy and legislation. The copyright officers also play an important role in developing and advising on the copyright policy and legislation within their jurisdiction, like changes to the copyright law, conduct of research on copyright related issues, and they also provide guidance to the policy makers as they are involved in day-to-day copyright registration activities. So they are much aware about what are the problems which are existing in the present law, and they may advise to the policy makers to for certain changes if it is required. The next is the education and outreach. They also engage in the educational and outreach activity to promote the various copyright laws and how the copyright laws can be compiled by the people, what are the requirements which have to be fulfilled, what kinds of works which are covered under the copyright law. So as you know, India is at very infant stage, and intellectual property rights are not very much known to the public. So they conduct various activities to promote about the copyright laws and regarding of compliance with the copyright requirement. The next is the international cooperation. The copyright offices will also participate in various international institutions, various international bodies to harmonize copyright law and facilitate cooperation among countries on copyright related matters through representing their jurisdiction in international copyright organizations and treaties. So now we will discuss about what is the composition, what is the constitution of the Copyright Office. So the Copyright Office comes under the control of Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, that is in short known as DPIIT, which falls under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So the most important head of the Copyright Office is the Registrar of the Copyright. The Registrar of Copyright is the head of the Copyright Office and is responsible for overseeing its operations. The Registrar is the senior government official appointed by the central government. Then next is the Deputy Registrar and Assistant Registrars. Now these are the copyright registrars who assist the registrar and they help him in carrying out the day-to-day activities and functions of the office. The next is Copyright Examiner. Copyright Examiner is responsible for the reviewing of the application for copyright registration. When the copyright application is submitted by the copyright holder for grant of copyright, then the examiner investigates the particular work, and if the examiner is satisfied, then he can further allow that particular application for the grant of the copyright registration. So the next is the administrative staff. Administrative staff is also required in the Copyright Office to perform the day-to-day operations, including the tasks like processing of applications, maintaining the records, responding to the inquiries from the public, and managing the office resources. So these are the various functions which are performed by the administrative staff. Then there are legal advisors are also available in the Copyright Office. So they work as consultants, advisors. They have their expertise in copyright law and they assist in interpretation and application of the copyright statutes, regulations, and policies to the various bodies. The next is technical and IT staff. With the increasing digitalization of the copyright records and processes, the Copyright Office may employ technical and IT staff to manage digital databases, online registration system, and other technology-related aspects of its operations. As you know that nowadays the government promotes the online application and online process of the processing of the application as to promote more and more transparency and to avoid delay in the grant of copyright and other important thing for the comfort of the copyright holder. So there is a need for technical and IT staff as well who takes care of these kinds of activities related to the information technology. So friends, now we will see the various functions of the Copyright Board. So the major responsibilities, the specific responsibilities of the Copyright Board is to administer and adjudicate various matters related to the copyright law. So they are the adjudicating bodies and they perform various functions apart from adjudication. First is the tariff fixation. So they have the authority to fix tariffs like fees and all for the reproduction, performance, communication to the public and other forms of exploitation of copyrighted works. Second one is dispute resolution. So any dispute related to the licensing terms, royalty rates and other matters concerning to the use of copyrighted work which are brought before the copyright board, they are involved in the resolution of such kind of disputes among the copyright owners and the users. The next is the compulsory licensing. We have discussed a lot about what is compulsory licensing. So the copyright board also have the right to grant compulsory license for the use of copyrighted works in certain circumstances. We have already discussed the circumstances may be like any kind of emergency, or if a particular copyrighted work is not being used for a long time, and if that particular work is very beneficial to the society. So in such circumstances the compulsory license may be granted to the copyright work. Then next is the copyright registration. Friends, this copyright registration is the prime job of the Copyright Office. But in cases where any kind of dispute arises regarding the validity of the copyright or regarding the ownership of the copyright, then the Copyright Board take care of such kind of disputes related to the copyright registration. The next is the advisory role. The Copyright Board also plays an advisory role by giving advice, recommendations to the government on different matters related to the copyright law and policy. The next is the rule making. It is also involved in making rules related to their internal operations, related to the board operations, to ensure more and more fairness and more transparency in the operations of the board. And finally, the education and awareness activities. It also involves in the awareness and educational activities to promote the copyright rules, copyright laws, various provisions of copyright to the stakeholders. So these are the various functions which are performed by the Copyright Board. Now we will see what is the composition and constitution of the Copyright Board. So in any Copyright Board, the head of the Copyright Board is the chairperson. The Copyright Board is headed by the chairperson, who is usually a retired judge or a legal expert with significant experience in copyright law and adjudication. Then under the chairperson there are members. So the Copyright Board may have members who are experts in various relevant fields related to copyright law, such as who are experts in law or economics or technology and arts. So these members assist the chairperson in adjudicating disputes and making decisions. And the third one is the registry staff. The Copyright Board is supported by a team of registry staff who handle administrative tasks, maintain records, process filing, and assist the parties involved in copyright disputes with procedural matters. Now the third administrative body under the copyright system, that is the copyright societies. So for the registry and other administrative work, there is a Copyright Office. For the purpose of settlement of disputes and fixation of tariff and other kind of work, we have Copyright Board. And the third body, which is known as the Copyright Society, they are authorized by the government to manage administration of certain rights of copyright owners collectively. So the main functions of Copyright Society is as follows. The first is collective administration of rights. Now friends, sometimes it is very difficult to grant license and to manage and administer the copyright related works individually. So in such cases, there is a Copyright Society which is registered, and it is a collective body which is formed by the different owners of the copyright works. They collectively come together and they form a society, and this particular society is involved in licensing the work to the users, and maybe the broadcasters or the music performers and other commercial entities. So this is the main function which is performed by the copyright society, that is the collective administration of the rights, where it is quite difficult to perform a particular copyrighted work individually. Second one is royalty collection and distribution. So they are also involved in collection of royalties from the users who have obtained licenses to use copyrighted work, and distribution of such royalties to the respective copyright owners. So on behalf of the copyright holders, on behalf of the users, the society as a mediator plays the role for royalty collection and distribution. Then next is the issuance of licenses. So copyright societies also issue licenses to the users for authorized use of the copyrighted works. Next is monitoring and enforcement. The copyright societies monitor the use of the copyrighted work to ensure compliance with licensing agreement and take enforcement actions against authorized use of infringement of the copyrights. So they are also involved in the monitoring and enforcement of the copyrighted work. Next is the advocacy and representation. Friends, the copyright society also advocate for the interest of the copyright owners and creators of the work, representing them in the negotiation with the users and government agencies and other stakeholders. And they are also involved in educational and awareness activities. They engage in educational awareness activities by promotion of understanding of copyright law, compliance with the licensing requirements to the stakeholders. So these are the various functions which are generally discharged by the copyright societies. Now we will see the constitution of the copyright societies.